last startup of the day, last story. My name is Garrett Winter, and I lead all of our venture activity here at Newlab. So that means I wake up every day and think about how do we shape all the things you're seeing, the place that you're in right now, how do we shape that in service of startups to grow as quickly as possible? They walk through the door and accomplish everything they're trying to get done from a commercial, technical, team standpoint. It also means I'm responsible for figuring out how to get money into these companies, both on behalf of Newlab as well as our syndicate of investors. So really, you've seen a lot of amazing companies today, a lot of amazing technology, a lot of fantastic stories around pilots. I want to give you a little bit of glimpse of what it means to be inside the community, what it means to actually walk through the doors every single day. One of the things I ask almost every founder I talk to when I get to meet is like, what are you trying to achieve? Instead of like, hey, how's it going? The weather's nice outside. It's like, no, what are you trying to achieve as we're having our coffee? And typically they come back with like, I'm trying to fundraise, I'm trying to get customers, I'm trying to get things done. And really what we've been able to put together here at Newlab is that we can have those conversations and outcomes start to happen. So the next company you're about to meet, Renovate Robotics, I've known the founders. I've known Dylan for 5 years now. I've known Andy for a couple years. And as they're pulling together this company, first thing I asked is, what are you guys trying to achieve? What do you guys need? Andy was moving across the country from Spokane, Washington. He said, I need a place to live. And he ended up actually taking up a room in my apartment. A little bit further down the road, what do you need? What are you trying to get done? Well, we need to build things. We need to actually start putting it, actually able to get access to the machine shop and the infrastructure we have here. A few months later, what do you need? And they start asking and say, hey, we can't actually figure out, we need to build a miniature house and a miniature roof to run a robot on top of it. And okay, I know some people. We were able to figure out how to facilitate them landing here in the Navy Yard and landing what is a pilot you can actually see out in the courtyard right now. And I won't give away the big surprise of what they're building and how they're building it. But this sense of how do we actually figure out and facilitate and unblock what founders need every single day and start pulling together networks and resources to make that happen. I would say the thing, again, as the person that's finding a way to deploy money into companies, at some point they come to say, hey, what are you trying to achieve right now? Oh, I'm trying to fundraise. And we're able to actually come in and say, hey, I know some investors, but also be able to participate ourselves as investors. And the good thing is along that whole journey, we get to know exactly who these people are, how they show up in business meetings. They bring their customers in here. We get to meet and understand the market and the customers that are sitting in the room. And ultimately, we're able to see how they're working, how they're building, understand their technology. And I can tell you, like, from unequivocally, Andy and the team that he's built is some of the best engineering, fastest talent, and best roboticists that I've worked with in my career of working with hundreds of companies in the deep tech space. We're able to see that firsthand in a very different and mature way that any other investor would kind of guess in what they're investing in. We actually know every inch and understanding of who these companies are. And I'll tell you firsthand, like, I will invest in whatever these guys build next, after this next company, and continue to find a way to invest in this company as they keep going forward. So with that, I'll let you tell them what they're actually doing and introduce Andy to tell you about Renovate Robotics.
Thanks, Garrett. That was really great. Oops, I went too far. So we're Renovate Robotics, and we are automating installation of roofing materials on residential roofs. I'm Andy Stulc. I'm the founder and CEO here, and I run the company with my co-founder, Dylan, who's in the back. I lead engineering, product, and product development for the company, and then Dylan leads business development and like all the customer conversations. I'll go ahead here. My background is in robotics and automation. I've been doing it for 12 years. I started in the aerospace industry building big machine tools that build airplanes, but I've also worked in 3D printing and food automation. But the idea for this company came to me when I bought a house that needed the roof replaced. So the insurance company was gouging me until I was able to get that roof replaced. And at the same time, all the contractors were booked out for 10 plus weeks in the area. When they finally did show up, there's this army of people doing this really dangerous, really repetitive work at height. And the roboticist in me just starts looking at it thinking, there's got to be a way to build a machine to do this safer and faster. So that's what I set out to do. And what our tech accomplishes is that we're able to do this autonomously. We can install it safer and faster, as I mentioned, and then you can also verify that it was installed correctly. And this is important because insurance companies, especially in the face of climate, are demanding higher levels of installation from contractors. So, and that's because roofing is really a climate-driven industry, and so the more severe and frequent weather causes more damage, and insurers are the ones that kind of push the standards forward. What we've been able to achieve so far to date is we've trained a full-on AI vision model on the system. We've done indoor testing, and then as Garrett mentioned, we're doing outdoor piloting right now. So the opportunity that Garrett started to tell you about was, was this journey that I've been on for the last couple years. Initially, we landed at an accelerator called HAX in Newark, New Jersey, where we worked for the first year. And then at the end of that year, we closed a $3 million investment round that got us thinking about what that next level of the company was. And for us, that meant getting more space for prototyping, access to machine shops, prototyping shops, access to good talent, and we zeroed in on the Navy Yard. And then along with that, we saw this space around us where we could move outside and start testing this in more real-world scenarios. So the scope of the pilot that we laid out as we started thinking about this was that we needed outdoor lighting so that we're testing the vision system in real-world situations. We need to replicate the transportation setup and utilities of the system like you're running on a real, someone's real house. And then we need sustained access to this site for at least a year so that we could be out there on a weekly or sometimes even a daily basis testing our robot. And we wanted easy access so that we could bring in customers, investors, corporates to show off and evaluate our technology. So what we landed on was, with Garrett's help and with Newlab's help, we partnered with Brooklyn Navy Yard and their Yard Labs program. We rented 3 parking spaces behind Newlab, where we built a test roof, 400 square foot test roof, and able to start to accomplish all those goals that we laid out. This is our system actually on our very first day of testing, just doing a dry run. And so what we're able to do here is deploy our robot. So it mounts with these anchor points around the plane of the roof. The robot initializes itself by finding the coordinates of those anchor points, and then it's able to synchronously move itself around the roof. When it drops down there, that's it picking up a shingle, pivots around, places it on the surface, and nails it to the surface. This was about a month ago when we just started running this, and now we're actually fully placing shingles, and we ran a demo today, and so there's actually shingles out in the courtyard that we put down this morning. And we're only just a couple months into this pilot, but we've already made a ton of tangible progress. In those months, we've signed 10 LOIs with roofing contractors across the country. These are people who are impressed with the progress that we're making, see the value in the technology, and want to be part of those pilot programs. We're also in the process of negotiating strategic partnerships. This is both with corporates and with industry groups. And same thing, the ability to see us use the technology like we're going to in the real world goes a long way. Today, we actually have a group called RT3 here. That's the roofing think tank. And so that brings in a bunch of industry people, and we're able to stand back there around the robot and hear that feedback from across the whole industry. And this is also facilitating fundraising on the back of all this progress. And this is really just the start of our journey still. So we're at kind of phase 1, which is the demonstration projects. And so that's one robot operating kind of parallel, close to the same speed that a human roofer operates at. Where we'll be expanding to soon, like in the next 4 to 6 weeks, we'll do our first subcontracted project in the real world. And we plan to kind of ramp up subcontracting so that we'll be doing around 5 robots with the goal of hitting 3x productivity in the next 12 months. And then the big potential here is to expand to thousands of robots across the country at much faster productivity levels than human crews. And I should also mention that we're just starting with shingle installation, but there's a huge opportunity to expand across materials and across roofs across the whole country. And we see this both as an opportunity to address the damage caused by the severe climate, and then to also upgrade those roofs to new, more modern materials. So we're repairing roofs, and we're also, on our roadmap, is installing solar on top of roofs as well. So that's what we're up to. We'll be in the back doing the networking and the tours. So please stop by, take a look at the robot, and then happy to answer any questions. Thank you.